The anti-war president, the peace president, Donald Trump now says we may have to go into a ground war with Iran and admits plans to commit war crimes. This should be international headlines 24/7. And in the United States, it's kind of a shrug. Donald Trump was asked during what was supposed to be one of these very easy, friendly softball Fox News interviews, are you ruling out a ground campaign? And Trump goes, no, sometimes you need a ground campaign. What started as no wars at all became sort of a war, but no ground troops. And it is now potentially going to go into a ground war with American troops in Iran. Think about the lies.
Foolish, but I'll tell you about Cargill. And so we've already.
Are you ruling out a ground campaign in a limited capacity?
I don't want to say that either, but I would say no if I thought it was appropriate. I'd say sometimes you need a ground campaign, but we have other people that will do the ground campaign for us. But we already hit Cargill, as you know, twice. Even 3 times. I said, hit everything but the oil. Just leave that little area from 25 yards out. Leave that little area. Don't touch the oil, because I don't want that in terms of the world economy. It's a chunk of the world economy. So we haven't hit that. At some point we could, but I think it's unlikely. As far as taking it is concerned, if we degrade them far enough and deep enough back, I would do that.
Do you anticipate?
I'm trying to remember. Who promised no more pointless forever wars in the Middle East when he ran for president? It was Donald Trump. And we are now in a position where, yeah, he's hemming and hawing, but he's saying ground war, yep, that might actually have to happen. The follow-up and more discussion, can you even achieve your military objectives? As if Trump knows what they are. Can you achieve your objectives with an air campaign alone, or do you need a ground component? And Trump goes, well, we have completed them. So then why are we back to war? Oh, my God.
There's progress.
So your objectives are to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon, to keep the Strait open, and to degrade the Iranian military. Can those objectives be completed in an air campaign alone, or does this require a ground component?
Well, I think they're completed now. Honestly, if we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild what they have. The only way
if that were true, don't you think we would have some leverage in getting this damn deal done, which has collapsed again after 45 different claims of it's basically over? We basically have a deal. Now, this was not normally when a president announces, I'm thinking of a new ground war I'm going to involve the country in. That's the one and only headline. That's the big headline. But there's another headline from this absolutely insane interview, which was supposed to be easy. But the easiest interviews end up giving Trump the rope he needs to hang himself. Trump says, I plan to commit war crimes, saying that there is a plan in place to hit civilian infrastructure. He's saving those, but they're coming. The power plants, the bridges. These are war crimes, ladies and gentlemen. And Trump goes, I have a plan to do it.
Do you anticipate that the strikes we're seeing this week against Iran will expand? Are you considering hitting energy targets or other locations inside of Iran?
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets, yeah. But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them, because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges.
These are war crimes. Trump is casually talking about it. He's bragging about it. He's being extraordinarily cavalier. But that's what we're talking about here. So in 24 hours, not even really, we have gone from, again, this is wrapping, Iran wants to make a deal for the 50th time, to we might do a ground invasion, and we're going to do a little bit of war criminality, just some civilian infrastructure. Trump asked, I mean, listen, after you hear all these questions, all these answers rather, the natural question is, so we're back to war, right? Like the whole thing about how it's over. The war is obviously on. And Trump goes, well, you can kind of call it whatever you want. It's just semantics at the end of the day.
Has the war resumed?
Well, I guess you could define it any way you want.
Is it a war or is it not a war? Well, it's Schrodinger's war, as I've jokingly called it from the beginning. I guess it is a war when convenient and not when it isn't. If Trump wants to be the strong war president, then it's a war. If Trump wants to attempt to get leverage over Iran by saying we're back at war, then it is a war. But if Trump wants the anti-war president bona fides, he talks about how he ended a war. Forget about the fact that he started it. He ended the war. Now, in the midst of this, and this just, it's almost like a mental patient. And I don't say that in a pejorative way, but it's sort of like every 15 seconds, he's saying the opposite. Now Trump goes after saying, we're going to do war crimes and hit civilian infrastructure. We're potentially going to go in with a ground war. It's going to be a very hard hitting tonight, and then we're going to hit him hard tomorrow night. Trump goes, oh, Iran just contacted me and they want to make a deal. Oh, they do? Why am I struggling to believe that, sir?
3 days ago, we had a deal.
When was the last time you spoke with an Iranian official?
Well, not me, but let's say my representatives. I have spoken to them, but my representatives over the course of, well, actually, an hour ago.
Why is this so insane?
What message was delivered?
They want to make a deal, but every time they make a deal, they break it. They don't want to die. People don't want to die. Yeah, about an hour ago.
And what message was delivered?
You better make a deal. You're not going to have anybody left. We're being very careful with the civilian population, as you know. But
oh, yeah.
I said, you better make a deal. You're not going to have anything left.
And you think
Can people tell that he's just making this stuff up as he goes along? When did you last speak to them? An hour ago. Weren't you sitting here for this interview an hour ago, sir? Doesn't matter. He's just making it up as he goes along. Finally, Trump says, we have cameras so strong that we can read the name badges of all the people named probably Muhammad.
You know, we have cameras, Space Force, we have cameras they can read the badge, they can read your name, probably Mohammed.
That's probably the name. This guy has no idea what he is doing, and he is now casually floating war crimes and casually saying we may get the United States involved in a new ground war. But after all, it was Tuesday, and Tuesday is the day that everything gets canceled and reversed because it's Taco Tuesday, and that's what we have to talk about next. One of the most frustrating things about debt is how it starts to feel normal. You plan around payments, you delay decisions, every paycheck is already spoken for before it lands. Our sponsor, PDS Debt, can help you break that pattern. What PDS Debt will do is work with anybody who's struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. They'll look at your situation. They'll personalize solutions for you based on what you owe, what you can afford, and the path that'll help you move forward. They have customized debt relief options so that you can reduce what you owe, combine payments into one, and lower the monthly payment so that you can just get a clearer path towards getting out of debt. No minimum credit score required. Savings can start the day you complete the free 30-second assessment. PDS Debt is the top-rated company in the industry, thousands of 5-star reviews, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Go get your free 30-second personalized assessment today at pdsdebt.com/Pakman. The link is in the description.